Yes, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Nick Harkson here with Touchdown Detroit Lions on Syndicate Sports Detroit. I know this is an odd day for me to be going, and you're probably expecting gridiron, but today I have an opening to do this, and I wasn't free on Tuesday like I normally can. I've been busy the last few weeks, so I apologize that I haven't been on schedule. But I should be back to normal schedule. I've said this before, but my Tuesdays are pretty open, at least my time to do this for the rest of the year. So I'm here on Thursday since there was not another scheduled live. So, yeah, let's talk some Lions football. Some things happened. But, yeah, I'll let you know what I was doing while I was gone. I coach high school baseball. We had some rain delays. Obviously, the weather's been kind of crazy this year. And, so we had to reschedule for a Tuesday, and I can't do this while I'm coaching. So there's that. But then also, I also work for a wrestling company, WWE-wise, and WrestleMania was this past weekend. So I had to be there as well for work. But now I'm back. Let's do this. It's Detroit Lions time. We're here at Touchdown Detroit Lions. It's good to be back with you guys. And we've got a few things to talk about. First one I'm going to touch on, it's not the top news, but it is some big news for us. We brought back our boy Marvin Jones Jr., and I love to see it. I know it's probably been talked about a lot already, but I haven't been here to talk about it, and I love that they brought him back. A lot of people wanted Shark back in the room. We couldn't get him. He went to the Panthers, but I think bringing Marvin in is a good move just because he's a veteran and older wide receiver who's still got some skills, who can kind of mentor that young wide receiver room. Amon-Ra St. Brown, he's already kind of a leader at his young age, but he could definitely use some more knowledge from a guy who's been in the league for a long time. And then, of course, Jameson Williams, learning the ropes from a guy who's lived in the city for, a while before he went to Jacksonville, but now he's back, and he says he's happy. He feels like this is where he belongs. I love it. He's got a lion tattooed on his hand. He belongs here. And, yeah, I'm just happy to have Marvin back. And if you probably saw he took number 0, and 0 has not been used for a long, long time, I think since the 60s for the Lions, or maybe 50s even. But Marvin Jones is rocking number 0 since the NFL is allowing number 0 to be worn now. All right, now on to some more wide receiver news. I did have last week a guy in here kind of trolling me because he was mad that I didn't want Lamar Jackson on the Lions. And then he said, Jameson Williams wanted him here. And Jameson Williams isn't going to go work out with Goff because he's a prima donna, all this. Well, look it. Jameson Williams proved you wrong like not even a week later. He was seen working out with all the other wide receivers. With Goff was there. Sudfeld was there. He even posted, I think, a story on his Instagram where he was running routes and whatnot. So the kid's putting in work. He's getting together with his teammates. He's all in. I think they're all in together. Goff and him should get their chemistry down this year. I'm hoping it's a lot better than at the end of the season last year, just because there was a few drops and a few missed times. But I think they're working together, and I think the chemistry is going to be there. I don't think we got to worry about the offense. I would love to add more weapons to the offense through the draft if possible, now that we can because of what we did in free agency. But, for those who are worried about Jameson Williams and Goff not being able to connect because of JMO's speed, I think we got to remember that Jared Goff played with Brandon Cooks, who was a pretty speedy wide receiver, and he could get down the field and stretch the field, and Goff did pretty well with him. I remember having Goff and Cooks on my fantasy team that year that they went to the Super Bowl, and I did really well in fantasy. I don't think I won it, but I made it to the championship game, kind of like them, and I lost. But, Goff has proven before that he can work well with a speedy receiver. I think Ben Johnson's going to do a good job of drawing up some game plans for both of them to work together. And, we already got Amon-Ra St. Brown there, and him and Goff have a great chemistry already. So, they're not just going to have to worry about JMO. We got other weapons. And Marvin Jones, I think, will be a good addition. Khalif Raymond, he showed that he could step up in times last year when other guys were hurt. He even played a game hurt and finished it and made a huge play for us. I think that was the last game of the season. But yeah, I think we're going to be fine there. And like I said, if we add more weapons through the draft, which I'll talk about here in a little bit, we'll be fine there on offense for sure, especially with them working together. And like I said to my hater, who I think he said he unsubscribed from the page. Come on, man. This is all fun. I'm a fan too. J-Mo did go and work out with Goff. Like people said that he wouldn't, and they were worried about that. But it happened. It happened. All right. Some other news that has happened recently that I'm sure most of us, if not all of us, have heard about, which is bigger news for the Lions right now, is we traded away former number 3 overall pick for us, Jeff Okudah, to the Falcons for a 5th-round pick. A lot of people are angry, I see. They think that we should have gotten more for the pick or for Okudah, but he did well for us last year coming off of that Achilles injury. But with this trade, we also free up $5 million in cap space. So I think that was a big part of it. Also, when you think of it this way, Okudah, when we brought him in, he had high expectations. He was kind of ruined by the Patricia regime. Didn't really get a fair chance. They just kind of threw him out there and were like, hope your talent's good enough because we're not going to teach you really anything. Maybe they tried to, but it didn't really translate on the field so well. And then, of course, he had his Achilles injury, which is a big-time injury and can set some guys back. He did come back last year, made some big plays for us. One I can think of off the top of my head is in Minnesota when it was 4th and 1. He came in, made a huge tackle on Dalvin Cook to stuff him, and it was a turnover on downs. Okudah was a great tackling corner last year. Great. I mean, he could have been a linebacker for us in some of the games the way he was tackling. But when you look at his injury, history, he's kind of like a used car now. And so if you're going to trade him, you're not going to get the same value for what you got him as. And, I was kind of shocked to see us, even get a 5th for him. I'm glad that we did get a 5th for him, but I was shocked to see us get a day 2 pick for him, just because of the way that things are going now. But I do trust that this is a good trade, especially with how things have been going for us in the drafts lately. Brad Holmes has been on fire in the draft, so a 5th-round pick is a lot more valuable to this team now than maybe it used to be, especially if Brad Holmes keeps cooking in the drafts, then we're going to be fine. But I also want to point out, I think that maybe Okudah, he felt like the locker room was crowded. I don't know this for a fact, but maybe he did want out. I know initially when he was about to be drafted to the NFL, he wanted to be drafted to Atlanta. So now he's in Atlanta. I wish him the best of luck. He put in some hard work for us. I don't think he was given a fair opportunity with the Patricia regime, but I think he did well for us last year. And honestly, I would have been okay with them keeping him to play out the rest of his contract and, not freeing up the $5 million. But since they did, I'm interested to see what we do with that. And what do you guys think? You think we still are going to make some more moves here in the offseason? You think we got some more free agents coming in? Do you think that we're going to make another trade here? I've been seeing some people say, well, Okudah's out. He's an injury-prone guy. Maybe it's time for Swift to go too. I don't want Swift to go. I'm just starting up some talk. But other people did say that they still think that Swift might be out the door. I personally hope not. We'll see what happens in the draft. Maybe if we get Bijan, maybe that makes a big difference. But yeah, we're gonna get into some draft talk here real soon. And as a matter of fact, let's just get into it right now. With the Okudah, actually, before we get into draft talk, I see a comment here. I'm going to look at the comment, and I'm going to see if it's a question. And if you guys got questions for me, please feel free to let them flow right now. I'll answer them throughout the podcast if you haven't been with me before. Usually I'm on Tuesdays, like I said, every Tuesday, 5 p.m. Detroit time, 4 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. West Coast. But, if you got questions, let me know. But here we go. Matthew Burt says the golf/JMO connection will be fine this year. They just needed time to work out together and build chemistry. I absolutely agree there. They didn't even know when JMO was coming back last year. He was still rehabbing off of that bad ACL injury. So when he got in there, it was kind of, he didn't even get to go through training camp, none of that. He got to maybe read the playbooks and whatnot, but it's a lot different looking at the play in a playbook than going out there and running the route and establishing chemistry with your quarterback. So I agree with you, Matthew. I think that it's going to be fine this year. But let's get into some draft talk. And I will warn you, today is a little shorter episode for me. It's Thursday. I'm not used to doing it on Thursdays, and I do still have things to do, but I wanted to get this in because I want to get back on track, and I need to talk some Lions football with you guys. But let's get into some draft talk. And I'm going to talk about some mock drafts. And, like I said before in past episodes, I do not take mock drafts as religion. I don't think that they're set in stone. Obviously, Brad's got a mind of his own. Dad Campbell, they're going to be working their minds together, not going off of what McShay and Mel Kiper and all these guys say. But it's fun to review these mock drafts. So let's get into it. First, I'm going to start with McShay's 4.0 and what I read today, and a few days ago. But he has us taking Tyree Wilson, Bijan Robinson, Jack Campbell, and Sam Laporta. That's Tyree Wilson, an edge, Bijan Robinson, running back, Jack Campbell, linebacker, Sam Laporta, tight end. And it's noteworthy that Jack Campbell and Sam Laporta are both out of Iowa. Okay, so he has us taking 2 Iowa guys in the second round, which I'm not mad about. I honestly would be happy with this draft because those 2 Iowa guys in the second round are really good Iowa players. They've always had a history of having great tight ends. We've drafted one of them before, TJ Hawkinson. Unfortunately, we traded him last year. I loved Hawk, but we have the opportunity to go get another young Iowa tight end, and I think he'll be there with the second pick in the second round, maybe even the third. But I did see someone post that he's a first round tight end, and I don't know if they are predicting that he's going to get drafted in the first round or if they're just saying that he's first round worthy. Personally, I hope we stay away from tight ends in the first round. We've done that a few times in the past. I loved Hawk, like I said. Ebron, not so much. I couldn't understand when we drafted Ebron, but, I was excited for him. Maybe he could be another weapon for us, and it didn't pan out, of course. But yeah, I wouldn't mind taking a tight end in the second round, especially if it's Sam Laporta. He can block, he can catch, he can do it all. He's kind of a Dan Campbell type tight end, but I do like what we have already there as well. We drafted a tight end last year out of Virginia Tech, Mitchell, and he was coming off an injury, so maybe he can be more of a factor this year for us. But I still think that we might go tight end. Now, Jack Campbell, linebacker out of Iowa, I've been raving about him, ever since, they've started mock drafts, and I've seen people saying that he's going to the Lions. I'm like, yes, let's go. Let's get DC hooked up with Captain Jack Campbell. And I think that they would do great things. I know that we re-signed Anzalone to 3 years, but it doesn't hurt to add depth. I think that he can step up and help out right away. We got Rodrigo, too, and Rodrigo's a beast. But I think that Jack Campbell, and no disrespect to Barnes, but I think that he can come in and play that Barnes role right off the bat. He kind of gets a bad rep. I've said this before for his speed because he looks slow on tape, but he's got long strides, and he's actually one of the better pass coverage linebackers in college coming into the pros this year. So I would love to have Jack Campbell. He loves football, another Dan Campbell type guy. Now I'm going backwards kind of now. Bijan Robinson, if he's there at 18, grab him. I know we got Swift and we got Montgomery, but if he's there at 18, I would love to pick up that talent right there. I just want best overall player after the first pick. The first pick, I want us to go best available, but best available defensive player, and I'll get a little bit more into that. But at 18, if Bijan Robinson's there, I'm not going to be mad at all if we get him, even though we have Montgomery and Swift. That's a 3-headed monster right there. Swift can stay healthy for the whole year. Or like I said, I was talking about it a little bit earlier. Some people were still on the Swift trade rumors. If we draft Bijan, maybe Swift's out the door for some picks, in the second round, third round. I don't know if we can get a second or third for Swift. He's been injury prone. We just got a fifth for Okudah. So, that sheds a little light onto the people who thought that, oh, let's just trade Swift for another first or second. That's not happening. So, I mean, that is an option. If we draft Bijan, maybe they use Swift for some trade capital. We trade the 5th round pick and Swift to move up somewhere. I don't know. I like Swift. I like Swifty. I'm a Swifty fan. When he's healthy, the guy is unbelievable. That's the problem, though, when he's healthy. But I do want to keep Swift. All right, let's move on to another mock draft. We got Mel Kiper's, and this is his latest one. And he just did 2 rounds. But I really like this one as well. And this is the first one I think that I've liked of Mel Kiper's just all the way through. He has us taking Will Anderson at 6. He has Will Anderson dropping to 6. And if Will Anderson is at 6, you absolutely take that. Him and Hutch together, holy crap. That would be insane. They would know who to block. And we got other guys too. I mean, Houston can come in. We're just going to, if we get Will Anderson, that line is going to be crazy. And I think the same with Tyree Wilson, but I think that Will Anderson is a little bit more of a freak athlete. The guy, just look at his production at Alabama. I just think it's going to translate to the NFL, and I would love to see him and Hutch on opposite ends getting after the quarterback. I mean, that's going to be insane. And when one of them needs a break, you got Houston, you got Okora. Oh, my goodness. I could go on for days about this, but I absolutely love Will Anderson at 6 if he were to drop there. I personally don't think it's going to happen. I hope I'm wrong. I'm going to put it out there now, though. Will Anderson will drop to 6, and we'll take him. That's just what I want. But then he has us going Bijan Robinson at 18. I just expressed how I feel about that. Would not mind that at all. Jack Campbell, first pick of the second round. Similar to McShay here, the second and third picks are the same. So I like both of those. And then he has us taking Jalen Hyatt, a wide receiver out of Tennessee. And I'm not mad about that either. Adding more depth to the wide receiver room, young talent that can work with this offense for years to come. I mean, having Amon-Ra St. Brown, J-Mo, and then another top young talent coming in at wide receiver. I think that's a great move there, too. I did see another mock where our last pick in the second round, we're taking a tackle. Another one, we're taking a guard. I'm not mad about either of those either. We need help on the offensive line. Our offensive line is good, but it never hurts to add depth and get some younger guys in there. Graham Glasgow came back. Not mad about that either, but he's a little older now. Won't hurt to get some depth there. I know they still have Vitae on the roster. Waiting to see if maybe we cut him still, because we can get some more money if we cut him after June 1st. But I think they like him. I think they like the guy. So hopefully he can stay healthy this year along with Swift. All right. I'm going to look into, or actually, you know what? I'm going to keep on talking about the draft real quick here, because I did see earlier today as well, since we've made so many moves in free agency and, filled a lot of holes that people thought that we needed to, like corner, safety, other needs, offensive line, running back. They think that we could possibly go with a quarterback still early on with one of our first picks. And me personally, I'll tell you, I don't want a quarterback in the first round. I think that we have a good thing going with Goff right now, and Dan Campbell's already expressed that when you have a good quarterback or a quarterback who's capable of producing the numbers that Goff does in the league, you hold on to him, because it's hard to find a consistent quarterback, and hopefully Goff can be the same guy that he was, when he was on fire last year through the whole season this year, and that will really prove that he is our guy of the future. But I'm not going to be mad if we end up drafting a quarterback still for the future. I personally would rather maybe get one in the second round. If Hendon Hooker from Tennessee falls in the second round, I wouldn't be mad picking him up there, but I still think that maybe we can wait till next year to get our quarterback of the future. I know that we're not going to we'll hopefully not have another top 10 pick because of how we played during the season. Maybe we trade up and get in there somehow. But and so that's what we have to weigh in on this draft as well right now. Are we going to get 2 first-round picks again? Probably not, unless we do a trade. Are we going to get another top 10 pick to take a quarterback of the future? Probably not anytime soon if we're doing what we see ourselves doing and what we want to do. So, quarterbacks don't always go top 10 either. So we got to remember that. There's been great quarterbacks drafted later on, and the one that everybody knows about, Tom Brady. But that's one in a million. You're not going to hit on a quarterback in the 6th round every year, and they're going to be your quarterback of the future. Now, Brock Purdy for 49ers is kind of working out too. But so we can draft a quarterback a little later this year if we maybe want to try and develop one that way, or just as a backup. But if we really want to get one for the future, I still think there's a stronger class maybe next year. And we were saying that last year. This is a strong class, but I don't see, after Bryce Young or Breece Young, I don't want C.J. Stroud, who is visiting the Lions. Will Levis, I'm okay. I'm passing on him too. And you just don't know what you're going to get with Richardson. I mean, he does have athleticism out of this world. The guy can do backflips. He's crazy athletic, and his ceiling, you can't even see it. It's so high. But you just don't know what you're going to get. So do you take a risk this year with your top pick in the top 10 for that? Me personally, no. I wouldn't do it. If you're going to get a quarterback this year, do it in a later round. And yeah, I see right here Joseph saying quarterback's tough to figure. Goff's play is hard to replace. I agree, especially after last year. He's a Pro Bowler. He's been a Pro Bowler with the Rams. Him and Ben Johnson are on the same page now, and that was their first year together as Ben Johnson as offensive coordinator. I only think it's going to get better. Jameson Williams getting unleashed a full year this year with the Ben Johnson plan, and him and Goff working together. He already has chemistry with Amon-Ra St. Brown, bringing another young wide receiver for Goff, and, the future's looking bright. You just got to build around your quarterback, and if they can go out there and run the system the way that Goff did, you keep them, like I said. So I personally don't think that we need to go out and get a quarterback. All right, guys. I also saw a lot of talk of us getting Jalen Carter, which I wouldn't be mad about at 6. I know that he comes with a little, I guess baggage, if you want to call it. And but I think that our regime, Dan Campbell and them, could whip him into shape if he's out of shape, and really get everything out of him. I think that I think it would work out. I think that we've passed up on the risky picks before because of how they've been outside of football. Randy Moss is one that comes to mind, and look at what happened with Randy Moss. So, if Jalen Carter's there and we take him, I'm for it. I think that he'll turn out to be a good NFL player under the right regime, and I think that we could be the right guys for him. I also think that now that Okuda's out the door, that Weatherspoon from Illinois is in play at 6. If he drops to 18, definitely. But Dre Bly was at his pro day. We let go of Okuda. Maybe they like what they saw there. I know that Witherspoon and Kirby Joseph have a lot of chemistry. They were talking about that. He said that, their chemistry was just out of this world at college, and he would love to get back with his old teammate. And, to pick up a young corner would not be a bad idea. I know that we just got Cam Sutton, and he's on a 3-year deal. But other than that, we got, C.J. Gardner-Johnson on a 1-year deal, and we got Emmanuel Mosley on a 1-year deal. Jerry Jacobs, I think that he's good to go. I love Jerry Jacobs. But, bring in Witherspoon, add more depth. Chase Lucas is a young guy who will be there on his rookie contract. But, I don't think – hopefully he proves me wrong, but I don't see him as a starter as a corner, especially for the Lions this year. But bring in Witherspoon, have him learn under these guys, and I think that he'll work out great with our guys. And to link him back up with Kirby Joseph would be awesome. So I'm all in on Witherspoon at 6 as well. Right now, looking at all the mock drafts and who I've been saying, it really seems like I'm happy with whoever we're taking. I personally don't want a quarterback, so I might be a little upset about that. But just with what we've done in free agency already, I'm confident that whatever Brad Holmes does is for the right reason. It's all got a plan behind it. I just think we go best player available after the first pick. You got to go best defensive player available first pick is what I think. And then after that, just best player available. And I think we're going to be good to go. I see here we're running the North this year. I agree. We just got to keep that positivity going, just keep this train rolling and believe, this is one of the first times in all of my life. I've been a Lions fan my whole life. I wouldn't be here doing this if I wasn't. I'm a diehard, but this is the first time I've seen so much optimism behind a team going into a season from the fans. We've always seen same old Lions. They'll screw it up. Let's keep this positive train rolling. We have big expectations for this team this year. Hopefully they come through, and they have big expectations for themselves. But if we just keep that, we got to support this team. We can't be, they've lost 2 games. Same old Lions. Nope, no more of that. We can bounce back. We've showed that we can, but I hope this year we don't have to. I really like our schedule. I really like our team moving into it. We're only going to add more weapons through the draft, which is coming up soon, and I can't wait for it. And, I'm just so excited for this season coming up. But first and foremost, draft. Draft day is coming up, baby, and I cannot wait to see what Brad Holmes has in store. I do see a question here. New here from Vegas. I have Lions question. Is the Lions trading up to get Alabama edge rusher? Woo! We're talking about Will Anderson here, and I already expressed, how much I wanted him at 6 because I don't think that he's going to drop to 6. Mel Kiper does. If he does, get him right away. I think it's definitely a possibility that we do trade up to go get Will Anderson. Now, me personally, I wanted to trade back. That's where I'm at. I want to go maybe a pick back with the Raiders because they're scared that we're going to go and get their quarterback of the future. I hope that's what all this quarterback talk is with Brad Holmes, us bringing in C.J. Stroud, bringing in Hooker, bringing all of them in. I hope that maybe we trade back with the Raiders. But you bring up an interesting point. Do we trade up for Will Anderson? If they absolutely love him and that's their guy and they think that this is the guy who's going to be the future of the Lions with Hutch on that line and we need him, then I think that they do. They got 2 first-round picks. Maybe, go up to with Arizona and trade. And there you go. You got them. That's the only way I see it happening. Me personally, like I said, trade back a pick or stay at 6 and 18 and see what we got. But I would not be shocked if we did do that, and I would not be mad. I know a lot of people would, but if they absolutely love him, I trust in Brad Holmes, and I'll go with that move. I don't know. I don't have the insider on it. I wish I did. But if it happens, it's got to be because we love the guy. Dan Campbell did say, in one of the first days of the combine that he only met 4 guys who have the it factor out of 30 that he interviewed. If Will Anderson is one of them and the other guys are guys that we can get later on, then I guess, use your picks to trade up and get them. That's the only way I see it happening. But I would like to stay at 6 and 18 or potentially trade back with the Raiders or, somebody else not too far, just a few picks for somebody who might want their quarterback of the future. And we're just going to finesse them because we're bringing all these other quarterbacks in for interviews and, visits and whatnot. I hope it's all just a finesse game from Brad Holmes. All right, I see here Hatter's House. What's up? Good to have you in here. Carter at 6 for me all day. Not mad about it at all. I think he could wreak havoc on that defensive line right away as well. I was raving about Will Anderson, him and Hutch on each side, but I think that Jalen Carter would also make a huge day one. He would just be a day one factor right away, right off the bat. He would make a huge day one difference on that line. All right, here we go. Let's see what Brad Holmes does in the draft. I agree. We're almost there. It is almost time, and I cannot wait. The draft is one of my favorite things that happens all year, usually because we're drafting because we had a bad season. So we're like, okay, we got a top 10 pick. Let's do it. Well, we had a good season last year at the end. Ended up above 500. And we still got a top 10 pick and a number 18 pick. And, we got 4 picks in the top 60, which is great. And John Peterson, don't trade up at 6. I'm with you. But like I said, if they do it, they're doing it for a reason. It's because they love him. And I won't be mad at it. I do want 2 first-round picks, though, because I think that that's 2 guys that could come in and make a difference day one, just like I said about Jalen Carter. If you're a top 10 pick, you better come in. You better be able to start and make a difference right away. If you're a top 20 pick, you better be coming in and be able to start right away. That's just how I feel. And that's where I'm going to leave it at today, fellas, ladies, everybody. If you got any more questions for me, let it be known right now. I know this is a shorter episode. I got a lot of things I got to do today, but normally I'm here on Tuesday at 5 p.m. Detroit time, 4 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. on the West Coast. But it was great to get back in here with you guys. That's why I did it today on Thursday. Nobody else was going live, and I just needed to get back in the swing of things. Say what's up to my people here on the Detroit Lions Network. You already know how it goes. But yeah, here we got a Witherspoon at 6. All caps. He loves it. Braylon, okay. I'm not mad about Witherspoon either. I think he'll do great for us. Carter has way too many problems. I think Carter, I think they could get it together with him. I do see where you're coming from, though. Might be better to just go safe there. But the guy was predicted to go 1 when the Bears had the first pick. So to have, number 1 overall talent at 6 get to you, it might be worth the risk. It might be worth the risk. We'll see. I know it's not Tuesday, man. I know it's not Tuesday. I'll be back on next Tuesday, though. I'll let you know. I work for a wrestling company, Sports Key to Wrestling. I shouldn't have said that, but I had to go to WrestleMania to cover that, and I didn't get back till Wednesday. And then, of course, I coached baseball, and we had a makeup game on this Tuesday. And then I was told that Gridiron wasn't going today, so I was like, let me go. I got it today just to say what's up to my people. And I will be back on Tuesday, normal time next Tuesday, and from here on out. I'm hoping that we do something live for the draft, so stay tuned for that because we should go live and be live streaming while the draft's going on. And I think that'll be fun to interact with you guys while that goes. But all right, you guys, I hope you all have a great day. Until next time, my name is Nick Harkson with Touchdown Detroit Lions over here on Syndicate Sports Detroit. Peace.